kingly secret. Why it is necessary now? This chapter will explain us all about the absolute self, the absolute truth. In the 8th chapter we saw Aksara Brahma Yoga. Aksara Brahma, imperishable truth. That's why in the beginning of 8th chapter, Arjuna asked some 7 questions that we have discussed yesterday. They were Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma Purushottamam, Adhibhutam cha Kim Prottam, Adhidaivam cha Kim Uchyate, Adhijajnaha Katham Kotra, Dehesmin Madhusudana, Prayana Kale cha Katham, Jayasi Nyatatmabhi. Yes, 7 questions they Arjuna had put. In the beginning itself he asked, Kim Tad Brahma? What is that Brahma? How is it? It is unseen, unknown. How can we know that Brahma? But somehow or other, keeping these answers in the mind, having explained all these questions and answers, Lord Krishna gave how to achieve it, how to go to the Supreme Self. That is the goal of everyone, every being. Where from all these beings take origin, that's how Lord Krishna explained about the day and night of the Creator Brahma, so that you will understand how he creates at daytime and he dissolves everything, withdraws everything mentally, so it gets dissolved. In the commencement of night, he goes to bed, that means he rests, means the creation disappears, and that disappearance of the creation is known as the night of the Creator Brahma. In this way, how to achieve that absolute, that is vividly explained in the 8th chapter. That is what we saw. All the ways to attain it, how a yogi attains it. Some with desires, they perform many sacrifices, tapas, and all other works prescribed by scriptures, and by that they go to enjoy their fruits of actions, and they return to this mundane world, again to the cycle of birth and death. They are not released from this bondage of birth and death. And some few among all these, they strive hard and they, without any desires, only keeping the Param Brahma in the mind, surrendering to Him who knows the luminous path, and that is how he has explained, Lord Krishna has explained so vividly. At the time of departure from this body. The individual soul, the soul of a sincere yogi without desires, he chooses the luminous path and he gradually or straight he goes to the Supreme. Of course, all these paths, all these ways of attaining it, all these have been described by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, and he has again and again emphasized upon the point, "Oh Arjuna, at the time of departure you should be always ready to have the mind on me only. Then only you can come to me, wherefrom there is no return again." In this way, all these paths and all these secrets, all these timing and the thought at the end of departure, all these are explained. But though it is known as Aksara Brahma Yoga, all the paths are explained, but what is that goal? It was explained shortly, not vividly. To the answer of a question of Arjuna, Bhagavan said, "Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Dhyatmam Uchyate." Brahman is the imperishable, the supreme. Its essential nature is called self-knowledge. Nature is called self-knowledge, the offering which causes existence and manifestation of beings, and which also sustains them, is called action. Kim tat Brahma, kim adhyatmam, kim karma purushottama. Karma. What is called karma? This creation is known as the action. Not only the creator does this creation work, but every individual being also does the same. Just as the father does, so also the son naturally does the same business. That is but natural, and that is what is called nature. All these in shortcut Lord Krishna has explained. Aksharam Brahma Paramam, that is imperishable, that much he has said. And then he came to karma, adhijagya, bhutajagya, and karma and adhibhuta, or how one gets the thought of Paramatma at the end of the life, at the time of departure from this body. All these are explained, no doubt. But about the imperishable Brahma, it was not explained in elaborate way. That's how now the time has come for Krishna to give out the secret. How is that Brahma? Nobody knows it. So it is a secret. Whatever is not known to common people, that is called secret. the hidden treasure. The hidden treasure. The treasure which is not known to anyone. There is a trust. There is a trust and body of the trust. But the trust meeting is not publicly done. In the trust board meeting, other members are not allowed. Is it not? हमारा ट्रस्ट मीटिंग होता है, आप लोगों को अंदर आने देता है? No, the secret is not out. Now Lord Krishna will, because he is the president, so he can do anything and undo anything. So Arjuna is a reliable person. He is the fittest person. So if the secret is open to him, there is no harm. There is no harm. On the other hand, it will be favorable for the trust. Okay. What is that name of the trust? The great yogis, the jnanis, they are the members of the trustees of the trust board. And they never declare any secrets to others. The secret is always secret. Now Lord Krishna, Arjuna will be a future trustee. So now he is making him ready. He will attain the Supreme. Now Lord Krishna is preparing the future trustee. You know, we have to increase the trust members, trustees, isn't it? So now the Lord said, idam tu te guhyatamam pravachyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yad gyatva mokshase asuhat. I shall now declare to thee, who does not cavil, the greatest secret, the knowledge combined with experience, self-realization. Having known this, thou shalt be free from evils. You will not occur any sins. You will be a perfect being. If you know the secret, then only you will practice it. You will be able to bring it to your life. If you don't know what to do, what is the secret, what is the aim and object perfectly, how can you strive for it? So it is necessary. That's how the Gurus, they declare the highest secret to a qualified disciple, not to everyone. I shall now declare the greatest secret to you, my dear, knowing which you will not be doing any evils, you will be free from evils. Idam, this alludes to knowledge of the self. Idam, this. This means whatever I have explained in the last chapter, the secret of it I shall tell you. This, secret of this, whatever I have explained previously to you, alludes to knowledge of the self. Jnanam, theoretical knowledge of Brahman through the study of the Upanishads, also known as Paroksha Brahma Jnanam, indirect. It is not direct knowledge. And Vijnanam, direct intuitive perception of Brahman or Atma Sakshatkar, also known as Aparoksha Brahma Jnana. Direct and indirect. This we have to understand thoroughly well. You know what is called knowledge. So many times we have repeatedly, emphasizingly, we have discussed it. Whatever knowledge we have, it is not called real knowledge. It is only informative knowledge. Whatever we know about the scriptures or the history, geography, science, geography and geology, astrology, all these of the history of the country or the nation or your own family, all about yourself. You know so many things about yourself. What is your name? You know it, but you don't know what is the meaning of the name. Then what do you know? You don't know what is your name, and you don't know who are you, and you go on by hurting the king of British Empire. Yes. All this history you by heart only to secure some marks at the time of exam. That is your aim. And all these are only informations. You have neither seen it, only you have heard haphazardly. How do we get knowledge? By the help of mind, through the help of senses, and body is the holder of the senses, director is the mind, intellect is the director of director, director of mind. And in this way it is said, Indriyani Paranyahu, all these are comparatively understood. Nothing is understood clearly. Everything is understood comparatively. What is body? When we compare with the senses, body is inferior, that much we know. And senses are superior to body. And comparing the senses with the mind seems to be superior than the senses. And in comparison with intellect, mind seems to be inferior and intellect seems to be superior than the mind. In this way, who is superior than the superior most, that is called the truth, which controls everything. And that is not known to anyone. No subjects of the kingdom know exactly all about the king. Never. King is always a secret for the common objects, subjects. What does he eat? Where does he sleep? What does he think? How does he control the whole kingdom? Who knows it? So king is a secret. Nobody knows. Everything is secret. If the secret is open, the king will not be able to control the whole kingdom. So now, the supreme truth also is like that. The topmost secret, that's why it is called Rajaguhyam. The topmost secret. Nobody knows what is Brahman, and nobody has yet expressed it. It cannot be expressed. So how can one who knows, he cannot express it? The eye see, but it cannot speak. The mouth speaks, but it cannot see. The senses are superior to the body, and they get some little contact, momentary contact with the sense objects, particular senses. They have capacity to have contact with the particular objects of the sense. For example, the eye will only see the form. Eyes cannot hear, and the ear cannot see, nose cannot speak, and mouth cannot hear. They are very limited, and they will have contact with their particular objects. When the thought waves goes through that particular window of the sense and go out and have contact with the sense objects for a moment, because they have to go on, but when they are obstructed by the objects, they have to come back. The thought waves work as boomerang. Boomerang, the oldest Australian weapon, which once discharged, it will hit the aim and it will come back to the sender. Similarly, the thought waves, they go out, hit the target. That means they are obstructed by the target, and they come back to the sender. That means the subconscious mind, chitta, by the way of the same gateway of the sense, and they give the informations. They are the spies. The secret spies of the king. They get all the information, what is going on where. And whatever they know, it is only haphazard, it is not perfect, because they have contact with the object only for a moment. Then the other senses work, and the subject changes, the object changes, the seer changes, everything is in the changing process. So everything is momentary only. Whatever knowledge you have, that is momentary, relative and haphazard, and for the time only. That is not eternal knowledge. The object changes, the subject changes, the process changes, everything. The whole world is nothing but a changing phenomena. That is the work of the nature. The nature does in three ways. Mal, Vikshep, Avaran. It creates a veil, some covering on the objects by changing it. Now, I shall tell you how it happens. Now tell me what is in my hand. Come on. What our word? Come on, tell me.
200 rupees.
200 rupees? Is it right?
Yes.
No. Nothing about hold. It is changed. Now, what our hold, how it is true? It is changed. Every moment it is shaking and changing. So how far you are true? Now there is nothing in my hand. And in a moment I have hold something else. So everything is changing. How can you say it is the truth? Truth is never changing fact. So in this way, the nature creates a covering, envelops everything. So it is called Avaran. And that's how it creates some haphazard, some lures in your mind that is called mal, dirt, some garbage, and thereby, because it changes, so there is every moment there is disturbance or projection or scattering out. That is called change. And that is the nature of the nature. Nature does in this way. And that's how it is nothing. It is ever changing, so it is not the truth. It is something which is nobody knows. Achintya rupa charite. Nobody can imagine of this natural process. Nobody can understand it. How does it do? And what does it do? Why does it do? What is the purpose? Purposeless. Because it is called nature. Why do you sleep? Why do you wake up again? Why do you eat? If you eat, why do you stop it? Why don't you eat, go on eating eternally? If you walk, why do you stop? That is called nature. This is how the knowledge what we acquire by the help of senses or mind, that is only momentary and haphazard and only informative. It is not reliable, it is not the truth. So don't be proud of your knowledge. Your certificates are good for nothing. It is a matter of 2 rupees. There was a boy here. I told him to go through Sanskrit school. He left it and he went to Banaras for higher Sanskrit knowledge. He didn't attend the classes here. I shall go to Banaras, that is center of knowledge. Okay, I arranged it. He went there, and after 3-4 months he came back home, and in the way he lost everything, and he was given some poisonous drink, something, by some cheaters, and everything was looted. So he lost the idea of studying. He was maddened for 6-7 months. Somehow or other he survived. And then he had the idea to have certificate. He went and gave some 100 rupees or so and got the certificate. Shastri. That is how our certificate works. Sadhuram. So this is how our certificates value. It values only 2 rupees. It has got no value at all. As long as you have some job by the help of that certificate, when you are retired, what will you do with that certificate? Will you leak it? Useless. It is worth only some rupees, and that rupee also not stable. Anyhow, whatever knowledge we have, that is good for nothing. It is called informative knowledge, relative knowledge. It is not perfect. Then what is perfect? If you can have the full knowledge of the object, that is possible if you become one with the object, then only. If your thoughts stay there and become one with the object, that is called in yogic language sanyam. Thoughts are ever moving, ever changing, so it cannot be stable. That's why yoga is practiced to withdraw the mind from the objects and centrify it on some center. That is called withdrawal and practice of concentration. That is hardly done by one among thousands. And meditation is still far away from you. Closing the eyes does not mean the meditation. Mind is not at one point. In this way, if at all mind becomes stable on the object, it becomes one with it, that is called sanyam. After practicing samadhi, the yogi concentrates upon some object and gets the full knowledge of it. Let it be any object, it will give the full knowledge of the absolute existence, because it does exist. So when you know the object, that means you know the existence of the object and its nature and its all about the object. This is how the full knowledge is only possible when the thought is not thoughts, it is one thought only, and it becomes one with the sense object. then only full knowledge, and that is called experiential knowledge, and that cannot be expressed because it is experience. The moment it is expressed, it becomes polluted by different helping supports. When the inner experience wants to express, it has to be expressed through sound, the speech, or by the body language. All these are changing phenomena. So this stable truth cannot be expressed by changing phenomena. Only the truth can be understood by the truth. There is a saying, the engineers cannot know what is a doctor, and doctors cannot know what is an artist. It is completely different from each other. One who wants to know, if an engineer wants to know what is a doctor, whether he is a real doctor or not, he has to become a doctor, then only he can know. A doctor knows the other doctor whether he is right doctor or not. Engineer knows the other person whether he is engineer or not. The doctor cannot certify an engineer. This is common sense. Everybody knows it. So on this basis only yogic theories are built upon. So this experiential knowledge cannot be expressed unless and until you become one with the experience. So it is unexpressible, it is unknown. Without expression, how can I know what is your experience? Say about honey, you have tasted, I have not. If I ask you how does honey taste, how can you express me? You will give some examples, some haphazard information. It tastes sweet. There are so many sweet things. Does it taste like carrot or red beet or sugar cane? How does it taste? How can you express it unless I taste the honey? There is a saying, two sisters were there. The elder sister got married. At that time, the younger sister was studying somewhere away from home in the hostel. She could not come to attend the marriage ceremony because there was exam going on. She could not come. She of course came home after some time, and after a long time the elder sister comes home, and at that time the younger sister was at home. So both the sisters, they sit in a lonely place and they started talking to each other. The younger sister asked, "My dear Didi, what happens after marriage?" That is natural. So how can the elder sister express it? The elder sister says, my dear Bahan, you will understand when you will marry. That is the only answer she can give. Similarly, unless and until you realize the truth, nobody can tell about the truth. But somehow This experiential knowledge is something different from expressive knowledge and our collective knowledge through the senses. It is good for nothing. Experiential knowledge is the true knowledge. It is called sambit, thorough knowledge, or real knowledge, or this is known in the term, by the term, philosophical term, it is vijnanam, the thorough knowledge, or the experiential knowledge. That is what we are going to discuss here. Now did you understand little about the difference between knowledge and thorough knowledge? Little clarity. Thorough knowledge is not expressible, and informative knowledge can be expressed. That is also haphazard. So this is how our relative transaction goes on. We tell something to our kith and kins, our friends. They understand something and they tell that to others something other. So in this way it goes on modifying. Everything goes on modifying. The reality is lost somewhere. Once in the early morning in the town area, people go for morning walk. And they go early in the morning, it will not be so visible, because when it become visible, many people start coming for walking, so roads will not be solitary, so they start in the early morning before dawn. In this way, some people started walking, and one person, while going, he saw something blackish at the roadside. It was dark, it was not quite visible. So he thought, something black, something it may be. So he imagined maybe some coals, some black coal or something like that. And while going, he met another person. He was coming in the same way. So he forbade him, don't go that way, something black is there at the roadside, nobody knows what is that. Be careful, don't go in that way. So that second person meets some other third person. He says something like a crow, a dead crow, is lying that there in the roadside. So don't go that way, it will have foul smell. The third person meets the fourth person. He says somebody had killed some crow there, and that crow is lying there. Don't go that way, it will have foul smell. The fourth goes to inform the fifth. He says somebody ate some crow and vomited there. The fifth says to the sixth, somebody ate some crow, vomited there, and had put some coals over it, burning coal, so that nobody will know it. Don't go in that way. See how it gets modified, and things is informed to someone by someone. This is how the information gets modified. It is not real. When there was devastating flood here, I was here. So many houses were washed away. My house also was washed away by Ganga flood. I have been the witness of it. And BBC London got some news, so reliable news channel. He says Ganga is blocked and the water level has gone up to Harsil. And in Harsil, some people have lost their houses and they are gone up to the trees, and the water level has reached there, so they are hanging on the tree. And by that blockage, Ganga only had reached about 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. There was a lake formed by blockage, and Harsil is 25-30 kilometers from that place. This is how the news channel, the most reliable news channel for forecasts.
60-second war.
Our Ukraine and Russia war. Now within one day, the Third World War is going to happen. And that one day has become 3 months, 4 months, 5 months has passed, nothing has happened. Yes. In this way, all these informations are not reliable. Don't believe on the informative knowledge of this world. Everything is some delusion and some confusion and some illusion and some superposition and some all the Johns. Don't rely upon it. And when you understand this and don't rely upon others, then you will have withdrawal of the mind from the outward world, and then only you will see within. The truth is hidden within. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. It is there within hidden. That is the trust property. And the trustees, they never open out the secret. So, anyhow, tomorrow we shall see idam tute guhyatamam pravachami anasuyave jnanam vijnanam sahitam. What is knowledge? That what we discussed now, informative knowledge, symbolic, haphazard, that is called jnanam, knowledge, and vijnanam, that is experiential knowledge, thorough knowledge, jnata mokshase subhat, knowing which you will be free from evils. Idam means alludes to knowledge of the self, that is thorough knowledge, and jnanam theoretical knowledge, that is called indirect knowledge. You have heard something about Bhagavati, you have not seen it, but you will try to see it by the help of this informative knowledge. Then you will have the real thorough knowledge. Informative knowledge helps you to have the thorough knowledge. So it is indirect knowledge that becomes the cause for the direct knowledge. So scriptures are or to know. It is to be known, but that is not enough. You should know, understand what it indicates at. That is called Lakhyartha. Lakhyartha. What it indicates at. When I show you a beautiful bird sitting on the tree through my indicative finger, you have to see my finger's direction and not to see my finger anymore, but you have to see the direction and see the tree, the point which the indicator indicates. Then only you will be able to see the target. That is called Lakshartha. What is the purpose of indicator? It indicates something. Indicator is not the purpose, it has some purpose. This is how the scriptures tell us, indicates us something. The word meanings are different, but the indicative meaning is something different. So that is called Lakshartha. So that is called Vijnana, thorough knowledge. When you see the bird yourself by the indicator of my finger, it is needed, or else you don't know what is where. The finger is a must, but it is not the purpose. It has some purpose. In this way, this indirect knowledge, of course, is helpful, but it is not helpful always. It helps you up to some extent. So it is called indirect knowledge. And Vijnana, direct intuitive perception of Brahman or Atma Sakshadkar. That is what I was telling you, by being one with the object, then only you will have full knowledge of it. That is called Vijnanam, direct knowledge. Or Aparoksha Brahma Jnana, direct experience of the truth. So this both we shall see tomorrow, still elaborately, and all about the target. All about the target. We don't depend upon the theories, but practice. That is said by the great Guru Swami Sivanand Maharaj, ounce of practice is greater than tons of theories. Tomorrow we shall discuss it still more elaborately. Hari Om. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasisate Om शांति शांति। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। कृष्ण भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। गीता माता की जय।